What's going on, guys? Bengal again here, coming back at you with another video, another mock draft for you. I've been doing these about every 2 weeks on average. I could do that more often if you'd like, because these have been doing very well. You guys have been super interested in them. A lot of new subscribers. So if you're watching this and not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. We're going to be talking a lot about the NFL draft over the next few months. Of course, draft time is a very big time for the channel, as I'm obsessed with the draft. I'm obsessed with scouting. Absolutely love it. And I have, of course, had a chance to familiarize myself with a lot of these players over the year, just from, the guys who played and the guys who I knew from previous years. But also, this is the time of year where I amp up with my actual scouting, if you will, where we're watching only that player on tape. And it should be a lot of fun. So if you want to see me do any videos only on one particular player, and that's the video, like why Jalen Waddle is receiver 1 in this class, in my opinion, I can make that video. And others like it. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'd get copyrighted, wouldn't make any money, but I think it'd be fun content to make. So hit that subscribe button if you're new. Take away my pain of getting copyrighted, please. And let's jump into this mock draft. I'm sure you guys are all super excited to watch. You can tee up to your team, that's fine. I won't be too mad about it. But if you want to see me explain, go through every pick, you can go ahead and do that as well. So I've done a rough draft of this already. And I might change some things here and there, but a lot has changed. The Jags now hold the #1 overall pick. The Jets move back to 2 with a win today. I mean, the draft order has changed a lot. And did the Jets screw themselves over? They've got a very difficult decision to make at #2. The Jags don't. Trevor Lawrence is a clear pick here. He's the best player in the draft, one of the best quarterback prospects, probably of all time. Really, really good player. It's really difficult to find a flaw in his game. He's tremendous. Jets at #2. First time not picking a #1 overall. This has been Trevor Lawrence for the longest time. And now they have the very tough decision of, do we stick it out with Sam Darnold or do we trade down? No trades in this video. I can do another mock draft with trades. We've done that on the channel before. But they've got a tough decision because you could trade down, get a lot of picks for this. If a team's trying to move up for Justin Fields, maybe even Penei Sewell, you could take Penei Sewell and protect Sam Darnold. But I think we're going to go in a different direction. It's not very often you get to pick a #2 in the draft. It's not very often you get in position to take a player like Justin Fields that can turn around your franchise. So Justin Fields, for me, has to be the pick there. Wouldn't expect the Bengals to take any time in turning in their draft card. Penei Sewell has got to be the guy. You need to protect. Joe Burrow. Now, Penei Sewell could slide over to right tackle in this instance if you want to keep Jonah Williams at left tackle. Or Jonah Williams actually profiles pretty well at guard. You could move him over there. Don't really expect to see that happen, but it's certainly an option. Panthers at #4. I think this one's pretty easy as well. The draft is basically picking itself at this point. Micah Parsons on the board. Defense needs to improve. Of course, you've kind of had a hybrid linebacker in Jeremy Chin playing really, really well this year, but there isn't a whole lot else. They haven't had a true replacement for Luke Kuechly, and Micah Parsons wouldn't necessarily be that. He's more of an outside linebacker than a true Mike. But if you have him strong side with the ability to get after the passer as well in certain different packages, I think Micah Parsons is a great edge hybrid. So strong side linebacker makes a lot of sense, and he would be a very big addition to their team. Falcons at 5. This is the toughest pick of the draft so far for me here, because it's either, do you replace Matt Ryan long term, because he is getting a lot older, or do you address the defense, which is very bad? And I went back and forth on this. This could be a QB, because we do have some good quarterbacks still available. Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. I decided the Panthers would take linebacker instead, just to mix it up a little bit. Very much could be a quarterback as well there. And the Falcons are in a very similarly tough situation. But in the end, I decided to go edge rusher, increase and upgrade the defense. Gregory Rousseau out of the U is my pick for the Falcons. Of course, they need help on the edge very badly. Takk McKinley, long gone at this point. Rousseau could come in and fill that role and even be better. At #6. Dolphins on the board. You got to help out Tua. Get him some weapons. Jamar Chase could be that. Really good player. Currently presumed to be the best receiver in the class, of course. I think he's #2. But Jamar Chase is certainly, if you have to rank the receivers, it might be 1A, 1B, 1C with Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and Devontae Smith, depending on what type of player you're looking for. At #7, have Philadelphia. Another tough decision, but for me, it's got to be Patrick Surtain at this point with the way I've made the board go. And this could change a lot. If I gave the Panthers a QB or the Falcons a QB or both, this becomes a much tougher decision, not only for the Dolphins at 6, but for the Eagles at 7, for the Cowboys at 8. A lot would change, but I decided let's make the quarterbacks drop a little bit, because that is something we really haven't done too often. Cowboys at 8, they've got a lot of things to improve, but for me here, Caleb Farley is available. You're likely going to lose your number 1 cornerback in Chidobe Awuzie if you can't re-sign him, which it could happen. There's a high percentage chance that he is not on the Cowboys next year. It's probably at least 50, but if you're going to say yes or no. But they need another cornerback anyways. Trevon Diggs has looked okay for a rookie, but he's nowhere near on the level of Caleb Farley coming out. So Farley is a pick here for the Cowboys. Number 9, not a tough pick for me either. Chargers need to protect Justin Herbert. That's got to be Christian Darrisaw all day. He's had a great year at Virginia Tech. Back-to-back Virginia Tech players going in the top 10. Probably couldn't have convinced me of that before the season, but Darrisaw has been so amazing that I think he's earned his top 10 draft pick. Lions at 10. And I've talked all day about Jalen Waddle, and we all know I'm a Giants fan. Pretty much, if you follow me on Twitter, which the link is in the description, I've been all on Jalen Waddle for 2 years and would love the Giants to get him. But for me, we're going to say he drops, or he doesn't drop. We're going to say he goes where I think he could go, which is at number 10 to the Lions. They get a deep threat, but he can be a lot more than that. Jalen Waddle is a tremendous threat at receiver, and if you can't bring back Kenny Golladay, if you can't bring back Marvin Jones, there's nothing at receiver right now. Jalen Waddle is the pick there for the Lions. Number 11, 49ers. Kind of another tough pick because QB is something I really considered, and they need cornerback pretty badly, but I am going to go quarterback. If a QB falls to 11, I think the Niners would be remiss in not taking one. They have to go QB there if one falls. So Zach Wilson to the Niners at 11, and this could be back-to-back quarterbacks, and it will be. Trey Lance to the Broncos. Again, I think just he's too good of a player, and the potential is too high. With even Zach Wilson and Trey Lance, both of them have very high potential at quarterback. And for the Niners and Broncos, which are QB-needy teams, I think it's no-brainer for them at 11 and 12. Giants at 13. I'm going to mix it up and go Devontae Smith. He's a really great player. I think recency bias has pushed Devontae Smith above Jalen Waddle in the receiver rankings for a lot of guys, because I mentioned how amazing Jalen Waddle is, and they go, Devontae Smith is way better. But when they were both on the same team, Jalen Waddle outplayed and outperformed Devontae Smith in every game, or just about. I think Devontae Smith had one game where he had more yards, more catches than Jalen Waddle. But Waddle was the biggest threat, the biggest playmaker at Alabama. But that's not saying Devontae Smith is a bad player. He's not. He's probably a top 10 player in the draft. He is a tremendous talent. Really, really good player. Exceptional route runner. As a physical receiver, there are some question marks because of his lean frame, but he still can go up and get the football. Devontae Smith, very good hands, exceptional route runner, really, really good player. Giants need somebody like that. Devontae Smith works really well. Vikings at 14, going with Wyatt Davis. Of course, it feels like we're doing interior offensive line for them every single time, but it's a big need. And Wyatt Davis, arguably the best guard in the draft, I think fills in really, really nicely. And hey, look at what's available at 15. The team that has pretty much been made famous for utilizing their tight ends gets the best one in the draft. Kyle Pitts. Dynamic weapon. Size, speed, and we're going to say verticality. That kind of takes those two things, ties them in together. He can high point the football with the best of them, and he gets open because his athletic profile is just not coverable by a linebacker because they're not fast enough generally or big enough. And for cornerbacks, they're not big enough. So even if they run with him, it doesn't really matter. If the ball's high enough, Kyle Pitts will outjump you. He will outmuscle you, and he will bring the football down. He's shown it time and time again for Florida over this past year. Kyle Trask has really benefited from using him. And let's say they take Kyle Pitts in the first round. Patriots either trade back up into the first, which I think is unlikely, or in the second, maybe Kyle Trask falls down the board and he pairs him up with two Florida players who are dynamic and awesome on that offense. I find that unlikely, but it's something fun to think about for the storyline. Chicago Bears at 16. I think this could have been a quarterback, but we see Trask, we see Mac Jones on the board. Maybe they aren't highly valued at this point in the draft. And besides quarterback, I think offensive line is probably the biggest weakness of this team anyway. Could even be bigger than quarterback because I think many QBs would struggle in that offense with the amount of time to throw. It's so bad. They have weapons at receiver. They need a quarterback that can hit these guys. I don't know if they bring back Allen Robinson. Almost seems unlikely at this point. So I think quarterback definitely is in play, but to me, offensive line is just a bigger overall need for this team. Sam Cosmi's looking at you right there at 16. I think they have to take him. At number 17, Kwity Paye. Great edge rusher for Michigan. Probably one of the better ones that they've sent out in the last decade, I think you can say. Like, he's better than Taco Charlton. He's better than Rashawn Gary as a true edge. And Rashawn Gary's a good player. But Kwity Paye is a true edge rusher, can be a true dominant force. And, of course, you kind of check off some of the boxes for Mike Mayock and company in Oakland. You take highly recruited player, prestigious school, Kwity Paye, Michigan, fits with the Raiders, who desperately need more help on the edge. Furl's a good player. I like him. Loved him at Clemson. He's finally coming into his own. I like Max Crosby. You need more than just them. You need more help on the edge, and Kwity Paye is that. I think the Raiders would jump at the opportunity to take him if he were to fall. Number 18, the Ravens are another team in desperate need of an edge, and I think the best one available, despite me being a big Texas fan, is Azeez Ojulari. Has showcased dynamic ability to get after the QB this year with great edge bend, great speed off the line, and the Ravens, who are probably going to lose Matt Judon and who don't have a ton of help on the edge anyway, take Azeez Ojulari. Really helps them out. Washington football team at 19. This was a really, really tough call for me because obviously they do need QB. Dwayne Haskins does not look good at all. Alex Smith is not your franchise guy. They need help on the O-line. They need guys that can get open, not named Terry McLaurin, who's one of the best receivers in the league at this point. So they take a chance on a QB. Kyle Trask goes to Washington football team. I think this would not be a great pick for them based on Trask kind of lacking mobility at this point. And with their current offensive line, I don't really think that Trask would be the best pick. I think maybe a Rashawn Slater makes a lot more sense, versatile offensive lineman. I think maybe even you look at any of the tackles that are available, like Jalen Mayfield, like Liam Eichenberg. We talked about Rashawn Slater. I mean, I just don't know if QB is the best pick for them there, but I think they might be forced into taking one if they don't think Dwayne Haskins is their guy, which he very well might not be, and Alex Smith clearly isn't. At number 20, though, we have the Arizona Cardinals, and they need help on the edge pretty badly. Like, Chandler Jones is good, but older. Chandler Jones is great. Hassan Reddick has had a very, very good season. But again, two edge rushers just will not do it in today's league. They need cornerback very badly as well, because Patrick Peterson has shown regression. Byron Murphy is a good player. I almost feel like he's best in the slot. I'm not sure he's built to be an outside guy. So what do you do? Do you bank on, the rest of your cornerbacks being good? Because they aren't. Like, you look at Dre Kirkpatrick, terrible. Jonathan Joseph, old, not good anymore. You don't have a lot. Robert Alford, no. So I think what you have to do here is go cornerback. And J.C. Horn is available at 20. Very good player. Enjoyed a breakout season for South Carolina. Opted out. I mean, well-earned top 20 pick for him. Has been very, very good before opting out. Dolphins at 21. Another very, very tough pick here because this is a team that needs linebacker pretty badly. But I think the ultimate goal is protecting Tua Tagovailoa, and they have a very, very good defense. I think you can wait. There are better linebackers down the board. I like Owusu Koromoa at this point. Someone that can play the will, someone that can run sideline to sideline. But I think protecting Tua is a bigger need. You take Elijah Vera Tucker here. You play someone who can be a guard, who has a lot of experience playing tackle as well. And for the Dolphins, who are kind of missing that franchise left tackle after the Laramie Tunsil trade, and who could use help on the interior of the offensive line, I think Vera Tucker makes a lot of sense. Versatile, can use him in a lot of different ways. See where he fits best. You need to protect Tua. That's a priority, and we're going to do that here with a big, big force on the offensive line, and of course earlier in the draft with a weapon in the form of Jamar Chase. Bucks at 22. Another tough call, because with Shaq Barrett's contract situation and not really having a true edge, I think Joseph Osai makes a ton of sense. But also, I look at their offensive line and I say, you took one last year and it worked out really well. Tristan Wirfs has played like an all-pro at right tackle. Donovan Smith is not your answer at left tackle. Not at all. I like Ali Marpet at left guard. You don't have much at right guard. You need to protect Tom Brady because he is still a decent option at QB, for sure. He's definitely going to come back and play next year, probably even more after that with Tom Brady. So as much as I'd like to take an edge rusher here, I think we need to prioritize protecting Tom Brady. And with a player like Rashawn Slater still on the board that offers tremendous versatility and can be a really, really good tackle. Worst could move to left tackle if you don't want him to play right tackle. Rashawn Slater steps right in at right tackle. Or you play him at guard. Some teams see him as a center. Rashawn Slater is a really, really good player. Has looked great for Northwestern this year and last year. And the Bucs, again, emphasize protecting Tom Brady. It's such a big need as we get to the Browns at 23. This one kind of picks itself. The Browns need linebackers so badly. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah has looked so great for Notre Dame this past year. And for the Browns, who I think have their Mike linebacker and Mac Wilson, I like him a lot. And maybe even Jacob Phillips at strong side. You need someone to play that will role. This is a match made in heaven. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah to the Browns at 23. Either way, I think this is a linebacker. And Owusu-Koramoah is my guy here. Colts at 24. Tough pick because the top QBs are off the board. You want Mac Jones at 24? I really don't think you do. You could take a tackle because Anthony Costanzo is not going to be on the team for much longer as he ages. Cornerback is a need, but it's certainly not a slot cornerback. And unless you want Eric Stokes, and I love Eric Stokes. I think he's a really good player. It isn't Shaun Wade. I hope you don't reach for Darian Kendrick at this point, who's so raw at the position. What do you do if you're the Colts? Receiver is an interesting position because T.Y. Hilton is regressing significantly. Zach Pascal is not really a true number one at all. Paris Campbell's never healthy. You took a high pick in Michael Pittman Jr. at the top of the second round last year. What do you do with this pick? What do you do? I think you emphasize protecting your future QB, even if you don't know who it is yet. And Liam Eichenberg makes the most sense to me. Of course, didn't play next to Quentin Nelson. That was Mike McGlinchey. But Eichenberg, Notre Dame tackle next to Notre Dame guard, could be a very, very good fit for the future. Jags at 25 took Justin Fields earlier. What do? You got to go out. You got to protect Justin Fields. Cam Robinson's leaving. I get that. But also, their defense has been terrible. Their defense has been so bad. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. And I think they have their future boundary stud in CJ Henderson. Could take another one, maybe an Eric Stokes. But we're going to go with a slot cornerback in Shaun Wade. I think this is a good range for him. Is not really a boundary guy. But for someone that would be playing in the nickel, free spot for that in Jacksonville. They fill a role, they fill a need. And that's someone who helps against the run and against the pass. Shaun Wade, I like him there for Jacksonville a lot. At 26, I think Eric Stokes is the clear pick for the Jets. They are so bad at cornerback right now. Eric Stokes immediately becomes their, or one of their best cornerbacks. I don't want to say their best because, of course, he is a rookie, but would be a big, big help. For the Titans, at 27, I think Joseph Osai makes a ton of sense here. I would like him a lot for the Titans at this point. And I think Osai is a great player. Fits their 3-4 really well. I've talked myself into it. Joseph Osai to the Titans. At number 28, we have the Buffalo Bills. This is another tough pick, but I think they will enjoy the versatility of a guy like Zaven Collins. I think it will remind them a little bit of what Lorenzo Alexander has done for them. Collins can be a pass rusher, can play off the ball. Really, really good player. I think as far as strong side linebackers go, which is what I think he would be in Buffalo, really, really good player. And even if Matt Milano ends up leaving in the near future, Collins could replace him. You have a stud in Tremaine Edmonds. But this is a great outside linebacker pickup. And I think the Bills would be very, very lucky to have him. Saints at 29. Tough pick because they have a lot of needs. They have a lot of needs. Because Drew Brees clearly is not it anymore. If you look at linebacker, they did trade for Quan Alexander. I think Anzalone's okay. I like DeMario Davis, but he is older. At cornerback, you got some big holes. You're losing potentially a lot of guys. Are they going to be able to bring back Marcus Williams? What are they going to do? And this was a pick I went back and forth on and back and forth and back and forth. Trey Hendrickson's going to be a free agent. He had enjoyed a great year for the Saints so far this year. But I think what it comes down to me is you need to be dynamic on offense. And when it comes down to it, is there a more dynamic player for them at this point than Rondale Moore? Like Kadarius Toney, I think is comparable. But Rondale Moore is a stud. And I think he's a weapon that Sean Payton would really, really love to utilize in that offense. And he's someone that really wouldn't need to go deep down the field because he's so good in the intermediate areas of the field because he's a run after catch guy. He can get deep because of his speed, but his run after catch ability is unbelievable. And for Drew Brees, who doesn't necessarily have the arm strength anymore, who needs to dump it off and let his receivers make plays after the catch, Rondale Moore fits the bill. Steelers at 30. Another tough pick. Another tough pick. Because they're losing a lot of guys potentially. Juju Smith-Schuster's a free agent. Alejandro Villanueva is a free agent. Bud Dupree is a free agent. Those are all really, really big positions. Mike Hilton's a free agent. Maybe if Sean Wade's here, you would go with him. But who are you going to be able to bring back? Who's going to leave? Maybe you go running back. It's a really, really tough call here. What's the biggest need and who's the best player available to fill that need? I think for me, your options here, I like Najee Harris. I like Travis Etienne. I never have running backs go in the first round just because I think there are bigger needs that these teams need to address. But I think a running back probably will go first round. So it's a tough spot for me. It really is. I don't think their biggest need is running back. If you lose Alejandro Villanueva, you need a tackle. If you lose Bud Dupree, you need an edge rusher. And there are some good ones. I love Jalen Phillips. Jason Owe is a pretty good player here. I like Patrick Jones a lot. I'm not sure that he's a first round pick. But it's tough because I like a lot of these players. A lot of really, really good players at this point. And I think this draft board is going to change a lot. I need to, of course, do more tape study. But as far as from what I've seen, Brenton Cox is a really good player. Patrick Jones is really good. Roche has a lot of potential. Hamilcar Rashed is good. Jalen Phillips looks like a stud. But only 1 year. Jason Owe has an amazing athletic profile. I don't know for the Steelers, man. When I did this the first time, I gave him Liam Eichenberg, but he ended up going to the Colts at 24. So what do I do? What do I do with this pick? I think what it boils down to is its best player available. And who would that be? I think I got to give him a tackle. I think we go Jalen Mayfield here. I think you got to protect Big Ben if he's around next year. Jalen Mayfield it is. Packers at 31 have proven they're never taking a receiver. Their run defense is so bad. They need a linebacker here badly. They need a defensive tackle next to Kenny Clark badly. Obviously, receiver's a big need, and they never address receiver. Cornerback's a decent need as well. I think linebacker's the biggest need, but I don't really like Nick Bolton as a first-round guy. He's a good player. I'm just not sure he's dynamic enough to play Mike linebacker the way that you need to nowadays. What I mean by that is I don't think he has a sideline-to-sideline speed. He's a thumper. He's a good player. But I'm not sure the value's there at this spot. It's a tough spot for me. It really is. This is another point in the draft where we say, is it best player available? I don't think any of these cornerbacks I love enough to put in the first round right now. As for receiver, more receivers are going to go than just the ones that I've had already. Who goes here? I think Amon-Ra St. Brown would be a great matchup. Great fit in Green Bay, and we're going to give him that. Amon-Ra St. Brown, of course, they like Equanimous. He can't catch. Guess who can? Amon-Ra St. Brown. Totally different build, totally different type player, but a really, really good player. Someone that's a monster in the red zone, despite not having classic red zone size. Good route runner, great hands. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, was great as a freshman, has been a good player his entire career, and working with Aaron Rodgers would be a match made in heaven. It's a really, really good fit. And then at 32, receiver is a bigger need for the Chiefs than I think anyone thinks about because, yeah, Tyreek Hill's a monster. Mecole Hardman's a good player. But think about how often they use Demarcus Robinson, who probably is not going to last in Kansas City. Think about how often Sammy Watkins gets on the field. Both those guys could be gone in the very near future. So wide receiver is a bigger need, and we're going to give him a totally different type of receiver. Rashad Bateman's a good player, don't get me wrong. But as far as a red zone threat, Terrace Marshall, he joins their track team of receivers. He's got good speed, but he's got great size, great ability to high point the football in the end zone. And I think that would be a really, really good addition to their team because they have the speed. They have the guys that can run down the field, make plays after the catch. And that's not to say that Terrace Marshall is not that, but he finally gives them the size. Under 6 foot is Tyreek Hill. is Mecole Hardman. Terrace Marshall is 6'3", gives you a lot of size and a different type of threat other than Travis Kelce in the red zone. So Terrace Marshall is the guy there. That is my first round mock draft following what, week 14? Week 15? No, not week. Is it week 14? I think it's week 15 now. Following week 14? Is that true? No, following week 15. Doesn't matter. We're near the end of the year. That's my mock draft. Of course, I know you disagree completely. I mixed it up for the top 10 this time because I think QBs could go at 4 and 5. Decided to go a different direction. I'm sure you've already commented how stupid that is, but that's all right. See you in the next one. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Take it easy.
I hit it at the park, bend bones. See me high step to the end zone. My life like a game, Nintendo. Playing with the best, let them know. Get off the track, the train's coming through. Yeah, promise you get in my way, then you best believe I'ma just run over you. Yeah, yeah. I'ma turn taking it back to the house. Defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud. Speed burst good.